I had a competitor that turned up, and this competitor was somebody that I knew that I was launching this syllabus, knew that I was pursuing this, and we worked together. Like, I knew this person very well. And basically, I don't know if this has ever happened to you before when you're getting started with your business and somebody essentially steals your ideas and your work and your copyright information. That completely happened to me, verbatim, down to the wordage. Like, words that I poured over as I'm learning how to become a writer and a copywriter that I know that I wrote, that somebody else is using to sell the same product as me, stealing my syllabus ideas and presenting them as their own. Like, it was horrifying. I had spent this was my whole life's work. I had been a gymnast my whole life, and then I crossed over and went through that huge, difficult transition and vulnerability. And then I go out on a limb and create this amazing business going well. And all of a sudden, somebody who I knew and trusted stabbed me in the back and started stealing all of my work. And it was terrible. And I didn't have business experience. This had never happened to me before. This other person did have business experience and was able to hit the marketing hard. And I'm just dealing with being a new entrepreneur, and straight out the gate, having so much of my work stolen. It was one of the most difficult times in my life when I first started my business. And so I really had to work through a lot. It was probably 5 years of just working through it and trying not to pay attention and trying to just stay focused, regardless of what was happening. And, this competitor was gaining traction, and I was too, but I had a bigger learning curve. And so, it's very difficult feeling when you're feeling like you're putting everything into something and somebody else is just waiting for you to produce material that they can use. Like, it was really, really difficult time. And so anyways, I had to overcome that, and I really wanted to quit, but that competitive nature just kept coming back, and that's what really got me through. And it wasn't until later that I actually found Jesus. Our family became Christians, and that was the missing link for me. That gave me the strength and the insight to be able to see what I need to do, how I need to do it, how to overcome this. And it was through the grace of God that I was able to go to the next level and really become successful. And I wasn't able to hit that stride until I did become a Christian. And so I'm so grateful for that. But I have had so many challenges along the way that I've had to overcome. And now that we lean on the Lord, it's all just so doable. And we still have problems, but we're able to work through them. And so I would say that that was probably the first major obstacle that I had to overcome. And I'm so glad that I didn't quit, because now things are amazing. I'm able to help dance teachers around the world. I've built my dream business where I'm able to work online, and I can live in Nicaragua for a while with my family and have that lifestyle. And so I'm just so grateful that I didn't give up and I pushed through that. So
did you ever confront that person, and are they still using your stuff, or what did you do about that situation?
I wouldn't say I've confronted that person. There were times when that person would try to like send a person to my course to take notes or try to buy some of my products, and I would just not allow that to happen and try to block it any way I could. But that's when I was trying to band-aid every single problem, right? It wasn't until I just rose above that and saw the bigger picture and leaned on the Lord that I didn't need to do that anymore. And so the biggest thing that I learned from that was everything this competitor did, I will do the opposite. And I will put my personality and my personal flavor and style on everything, because you cannot copy that. And so I have, I'm an extrovert. I love people. I'm kind of like one of those, bubbly kind of eternal optimist kind of people. And I just plastered that all over everything. So I created a brand that was fun, light, we work hard, we get results, but we have fun while we're doing it. And that's been everything. And when my competitor what's the expression? When they zig, I zag. That's exactly what I did. My strategy became, and God showed me this, my strategy became do everything the opposite. You can't trademark a cartwheel or a backflip, okay? But you can trademark your unique way and style. And that's exactly what I did. So that's when I went online with my program. So believe it or not, you can learn how to become an acrobatics teacher online. And we used to do everything live. I did workshops around the world. I traveled all over the place and did these workshops. And that was great for a time, but then there was no follow-up after that. And I was leaving my clients to just, have at it by themselves in the dance studio after a weekend workshop. And that's what my competitor was doing too. And I wasn't willing to do all of the traveling and all of the courses to stay competitive. And so I got the divine inspiration to go online. And we had a lot of people asking us, would you ever consider going online? I was like, I don't see how that would be possible. But then the way was shown, and I went completely online. I spent a year transitioning from what we used to do in a weekend workshop to a whole year of online coaching instead. And I already had the video tutorials and the PDF assets and everything in place to be able to do that. And I spent a year transitioning into a completely online program. And that was a huge risk. You can imagine what kind of potential backlash I was facing if I'm taking an acrobatics teacher's training program from a live weekend workshop to an online certification course. Like, that's hard to do, right? It seems impossible. But once we got into it, we worked with a pilot group, like a founding members group, and we worked out the kinks. Not only was it was working better. But that was a huge risk, a huge risk that paid off big time. I'm so glad I did it. And we've been able to really expand since then and help so many more people. And not only that, now, okay, so my personality, my brand is me and my style, and we do it different online, and that can't be copied. That cannot be duplicated. And side note, I got that all transitioned online a year and a half before COVID hit. So we were totally aligned to be online when COVID hit, and it was business as usual for our business and for our clients, because that's all they knew. Everybody was trying to figure out how to work Zoom and how to take their dance classes online and how to do all that. We'd been doing it for a year and a half. It was a complete answer to prayer. And if I wouldn't have persevered, and if I wouldn't have hung in there and come up with this new strategy, it would have been over. I would have been crushed by my competition. I would have been crushed by COVID. And it was the best risk I've ever taken.